Hello and welcome to my 45th water review for YouTube. Today is Friday, December 14th, 2018, and this week I will be reviewing Taiwanese water, or ion supply drink as they call it, Pocari Sweat Ion Water. Pocari Sweat was created by Japanese pharmaceutical company Otsuka, which is, according to them, they are the leading pharmaceutical company in Japan. And this drink was created in 1980, and since then they have had various revisions of it, and in 2000 they created this bottled version of Ion Water. On their website they had a very good amount of information about the history of the company, their various products, some of the social initiatives that they support, such as being the official drink of the Taiwan Open and of the Asian Games in 2014. However, they didn't have a ton of information about environmental initiatives or humanitarian initiatives. However, they did have a good amount of information about why you need to drink water, why you need to replenish the electrolytes in your body, and they even had some interesting graphs that I wasn't able to read since they were in Mandarin, but they had some interesting graphs comparing them to regular water. So if you're interested and you can read Mandarin, I'd recommend going and checking that out on their website in the link below. In terms of bottle design and materials, the Pocari Sweat bottle is actually quite a unique bottle. I don't know if it's just the water inside that gives it this kind of cloudy, frosty look, but it really is quite eye-catching. And another thing I noticed was that the materials are actually quite good. The bottle is made out of a nice sturdy plastic, and so is the cap, and it has this interesting shape to it, which I noticed when the poorly secured label fell off during my recording of B-roll. The label itself is not the best, but I was able to resecure it with some tape. The bottle, once the label came off, I noticed had some interesting shape to it. It had horizontal streaks along the top, and then on the bottom it had these interesting vertical waves. So it goes from horizontal waves to vertical waves at the bottom, and this really gives it a very distinct look. The label itself is quite plain, but they do include a nutrition facts table, however, no mineral table, which I find quite interesting, seeing as their whole shtick is that they include electrolytes. So you'd think they'd want to add a mineral table onto the bottle. However, I was able to find a mineral table on their website. Other than that, really not a whole lot going on. My favorite part of this entire bottle is actually the cap, which on the top tells you which direction to open it, just in case you really weren't sure. You've made it through your whole life without ever opening a bottle. Pocari Sweat has your back, and they will tell you which way to turn the cap to open the bottle. I don't know if this is a North American only thing, and maybe they just think we're inept, but I think that it's just a really funny and amusing add to the cap of this bottle. So, in terms of taste and nose, Pocari Sweat adds a whole bunch of interesting ingredients to their so-called water, such as high fructose corn syrup. I'd like to learn about the pharmacist who recommended that in their water. They also add MSG, which isn't necessarily a good or bad thing, but I don't know why they couldn't have just added regular old salt. And they also have juice and mangosteen extract, I guess to give it an interesting flavor. I don't know what kind of juice, it just says juice on the ingredients list, but they do mention that there's mangosteen extract, so maybe it's a mangosteen juice as well. I've never had mangosteen, so I will let you know my thoughts on it. Now, on the nose. Wow. On the nose, it reminds me a lot of orange Gatorade. Now, orange Gatorade is the orange flavor, and it has this kind of sweet, salty, citrusy note, and you almost get a little bit of a bitter grapefruit note as well. It's really, really similar to orange Gatorade. As far as I can remember, I haven't had orange Gatorade in years. Let's see if it tastes similar too. The mouthfeel is very syrupy and it leaves a residue. I would assume that's from the high fructose corn syrup and that MSG really sticking to the inside of your mouth. But again, on the taste, it's very, very similar to orange Gatorade as far as I remember. It has this kind of syrupy orange citrusy note with that strong saltiness from that MSG. And overall, it's really not a bad taste. It actually tastes pretty good, but in terms of tasting like water, there's no water notes I'm able to get on this. In terms of the added electrolytes, however, on the nutrition facts label, they mention that there's 160 milligrams of sodium, and on their website, they do tell you the milli equivalents per liter of the various electrolytes they add, which I have translated. So they have 156 ppm of magnesium, 20 ppm of calcium, and 550 ppm of chloride, including some citrate and lactate as well, which I'm not entirely sure what those are used for, but it was an interesting addition. Maybe I'll do some research and make a video on why they added that to their water. So overall, the taste is quite good, and the nose is quite good as well. They're very similar to Gatorade, and so that's really what I'm going to be comparing it to in my scoring. And moving on to final score. In terms of company history and interestingness, Pocari Sweat has a very good website with a lot of information, which I was able to translate using Google's built-in translator. So there was a good amount of information about their history, about their product, some of their social initiatives. However, I really would have liked to see some more environmental and humanitarian initiatives as well on their website. So in terms of company history and interestingness, they get 2.25 out of 2.5 points. In terms of bottle design and materials, the bottle design is quite interesting, and the materials are also quite good, despite that subpar label and its curing to the bottle. The label was simply designed. I would have liked to see a mineral table, but the bottle itself was quite good, and I found that little feature on the cap of the bottle quite amusing as well. So in terms of bottle design and materials, they get a solid 2 out of 2.5 points. In terms of taste and nose, this really isn't a water. I'd consider it more of a water beverage because of just how much sugar is in there. In this one 300 ml bottle, there's 7 grams of sugar, which certainly isn't as much as some waters I've reviewed in the past. Cucumber. But I really just wouldn't consider it so much as a water. It really competes with those electrolyte added power beverages, I guess is what they're called, like Gatorade and Powerade. But the taste, I can't argue, it tastes pretty good. The nose has this very interesting orange citrus note, and the taste as well with that nice saltiness. So in terms of taste and nose, they get 2.5 out of 4 points. In terms of value, the bottle I bought is only a 300 ml bottle, and it cost over $2 at my local grocery store, which when comparing to Gatorade, which has much larger bottles and in my opinion a better taste, if you're really looking to get those added electrolytes and something sweet after a workout, then I'd recommend going with Gatorade. So in terms of value, they only get 0.5 point out of 1 point. Tallying it all up, Pocari Sweat gets a not too bad 7.25 out of 10 points, which puts it much higher than cucumber water on the score list. But really, if you're looking for a sports drink, I'd probably go with Gatorade or Powerade. But if you're looking for something interesting to try, I would recommend buying a bottle. I probably wouldn't drink it regularly just because high fructose corn syrup really isn't that great for you. But overall, quite an interesting water, and I would recommend. So I hope you all enjoyed my water review for this week. I will see you all on Monday for my 3rd educational video. This one is again another user requested topic. Please like, comment down below which water you'd like me to review next, and subscribe as well. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you on Monday.